Hey guys, this is XWolfX here, coming at you with the OCG ban list from February 1st of 2014. Alright, so I don't know which ban list I actually like better just because, ours we still have Stratos ban and, Heavy Storm ban and Monster Reborn ban, but we killed the Dragon Roller deck, which over there they still have Monster Reborn, Stratos, and, Heavy Storm, but they still have Dragon Rollers playable because all of them went to 2, which I'll explain here in a bit. But alright guys, let's get this started. Return from Different Dimension, as it was over here, it got banned, which, honestly this card needed banned. Just because it can be played at any point in time, and it's a game-winning card. Now on to the limited. They limited Bubble Man to 1 over there, and honestly, I'm not quite sure why. Like, if we brought back Stratos and put Bubble Man to 1, I'd be perfectly okay with it here in the TCG. But over there, their games are a lot quicker than ours because they saw Monster Reborn and Heavy Storm, while the TCG was attempting to slow down the format by, getting, Bottomless, Compulse 1, banning Heavy Storm, Monster Reborn, top deck cards, and cards that made the game quicker. But over there, them banning Bubblebee, it's just pretty much, in my opinion, just to sell other decks, because from the last time I actually looked at it, all the OCG decks, winning, I have not seen Hero Beat in a while, so I think it's just kind of a, hey look, we want to get around the problematic deck. Or not problematic deck, I don't know why I said that. But let's get rid of one of the decks that people love to play. I don't know. Because it's Konami. Konami logic. Dragoon 1, we did it first, they followed, which is a good thing, because this card is just silly. And it lets Dragoons go nuts. Now, they brought back Stein, and it's very interesting. For those of you who don't know what it does, you pay 5,000 life points to special summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck. And basically, back in the day, people were doing this with Cyber and Dragon, or, Cyber Twin Dragon, and just going nuts and OTKing and whatnot. And it was such a problematic card, and according to some people, from what I've been told, this card actually got insta-banned. Now, when this card actually was playable and all that stuff, I kind of was out of the game at that point. It was the 2-year period I was not playing. So, I never got to see this card in action. But it was really derpy, from what I was told. And I've seen gameplay of it, and it looked really bad. Because back then, they didn't have many stops, they didn't really have, what we have now. Because now we have, Effect Veiler, Bottomless, Compulse, Mirror Force, TTs. And, yeah, they had TT and Mirror Force, but those were both back at 1. And I don't think anybody really ran Compulse back then. Because I don't know why they didn't. And D-Prism wasn't a thing yet, I don't think. And, nowadays, we have Effect Veiler, which, as soon as they pay that 5,000, you can be like, okay, Effect Veiler, you just paid 5,000 life points, and have a 700 attack monster, so troll on you, or whatever. And there's so many stops over there in Japan, they have 2 Bottomless, 3 Compulse, 3 Mirror Forces, 2 TTs, 3 D Prisms. They have so many stops that it doesn't, bringing them back to 1 might be a little problematic, but they have so many stops that at the same time it's kind of is this card even worth running? They put Sacred Swords to 1, which, we did over here too, and I don't think they should have, just because Dragon Rollers is still a deck over there. Or, not having it at 3, they should have banned the card. Sorry, guys, I should have said that a little sooner. Yeah, because at 1, it's still going to let the Dragon Rollers get a plus 1 out of it, whereas if they would ban this, they wouldn't have to worry about it. And they also still have Super Rejuvenation over there. Remember that, guys. And that card's real silly with that deck, too. 1 Gold Sark, which, they had that up there at 2 to 3 just because it gave E-Dragons pluses. And they were trying to sell that deck card. Which, honestly, it's a good thing that they put at 1. I think it's a good card at 1 anyways. But, they also have 1 Exceed that made this list, and that is Evil Swarm Ophion. Which, honestly, I'm glad that this card got put to 1 over there, just because, it stopped Stops both players from special summoning level 5 or higher, so it stuns a lot of decks like Plants or Hero Gate and stuff like that. Well, Plant Synchro at least. Or Junk Doppel and all those fun decks, or Synchro heavy decks, it really hurts, and Fire Kings. So this card going to 1, which that effect by, like, stopping level 5 or higher, that isn't as bad as that it can search out their Pandemic, which, protects all their Evil Swarm monsters. Now onto the semi-limited list. All 4 E-Dragons, so that's still a deck over there, and honestly, they should have followed us and put it at 1, just because this should not be a deck that can just win out of nowhere, have like no hand, no field, and stole derp out and win. I just think it's unfair to both players because pretty much, as we all knew, Dragon Rulers were dominant in the last few formats, and it was just such a BS deck. Honest to 2, which, it's a good thing for like Light B and, Light Sworns, especially because Light Sworns is getting new support over there, and I know we're getting it here soon too. So, it's good for Light Sworn and Light Beat, but Boojans can use this too, so I'm kind of glad that we still have it at 1 over here, just because that gives Boojans, 5 honest, basically, because of their Boojin Crane. So it's one of those cards that I'm glad over here, we kept out 1, but over there, it's going to be interesting to see how it works, and it may not change the game, or it may be a game breaker. Who knows? I think it's a little overpowered of a card, though. I'm not going to lie. Just because, it is basically just a direct attack and runs over any monsters. So, I feel like at 1, it's good, but who knows? It might be great at 2. We'll see. Plague Spreader Zombie, which over in the TCG, we brought it at 3. At 2 or 3... it's not doing much, especially because they don't have 3 Malicious Edge, so Destiny Zombies aren't being played over there. It's still a good card, but I think it could be at 3. 2 Lone Fire, trying to sell plants. That's the reason why we did it over here, too. It's not a bad card to have. Now on to the no longer limited. So these cards are at 3. Bestiari, which, they brought at 2 last format. And obviously, Glads weren't doing too much over there, so they brought it back at 3. So it's going to be good to see, Glads being played over there again. And all that fun stuff. And, he blows up a back row, but you have Heavy Storm, Dark Hole anyways in the format, so why should it matter too much? 3 Earths, which we already did that, I think we brought it back in our last ban list. Or, no, it was this ban list. Which, this card, allows agents to have their searcher, and that's good for them, and it's a tuner. So I'm happy for, the OCG agents being able to have this card. 3 Grand Mole, which I don't see anybody playing more than 1 anyways, unless you're playing, Rock Stun. So usually this is just a good side deck card, gets around Seeds and Synchros, if you guys do not know. Or it just bounces a monster. So I think, I only play him at 1. Even if I could play him at 3, I'd still play him at 1. That's just how I feel about him. Gores at 3, which, that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out over there, too. Just because now decks, the game's attempting to be quick over there, but then they have to be real careful because, hey, look, I just ran into Gores after Gores after Gores, and sometimes that Gores token is the hardest thing to get around. 3 Debris Dragon. So pretty much they brought back Plant Synchro over there. And, that's kind of interesting to see, and I kind of can't wait to see how, this format's going to be over there for them and see what decks are topping. So that's good for them. And 3 Thunder King, which this card should not be at 1 anyways. I feel like it should be at least 2 to 3. Just because, it can stop so many meta decks, and it just helps out a lot in the game. And all that fun stuff. Well, anyways, guys, this is the OCG ban list. I hope you guys like this video. And if you do, please like, subscribe, give it a thumbs up, share with your friends. And tell me what you guys think about this list, and would you guys play Cyberstein if he was legal? All right, guys. Peace.